Welcome back to Let's Talk to Animals, the podcast all species can enjoy together. My name is Shannon Cutts. I am an animal sensitive and intuitive, a Reiki master practitioner, and an animal communication teacher with animallovelanguages.com. And for our purposes here today, I am also your friendly neighborhood hostess and guide through the wild, wise, and wonderful world of interspecies communication. Call me crazy, but I truly believe that animal communication has the power to save, heal, and restore our planet for all species to enjoy and share. When we learn to communicate with one another, we begin to realize we are so much more alike than different. We care about each other. We become friends. On this podcast, we talk about what the animals have to say and share, and why our pets truly are our partners, empathic friends, and teachers. I am so glad you have joined us here for this fresh new episode of Let's Talk to Animals. So let's dive in. Welcome back to Let's Talk to Animals, the podcast all species can enjoy together. I am so delighted that you're here today as we kick off a two-parter focusing on energy alignment between you and your pet and between you and you. So in this first episode of our two-part series, we're going to dive deep on how you can align your energy to support your pet through anything that they may be going through in their life, anything that you may be going through in your life that may impact your pet. So we can take a look at some examples. For instance, let's say your pet is going through a health challenge or is recovering from previous trauma, or they're entering their end of life stage, or they're having interspecies family differences. And you are there, you're present, your energy is present in their life, in their world, and you have a soul agreement with them. You have a soul bond with them to partner together to grow in wisdom and learn to love better, to learn new lessons, to teach one another lessons. And so in this scenario, you would be able to use what we're going to talk about today to help your pet find calm in their nervous system, to help them navigate a lesson that they're learning or a challenge that they're facing from an optimal energetic standpoint. For example, let's say you're feeling anxious. They start feeling anxious. So the tools we're going to talk about today are going to help you maintain an optimal energetic state to help your pet find energetic grounding when they need it most. The other aspect we're going to look at today is, what if something is going on in your life? Maybe you're going through relationship challenges in some other area of your life, or challenges in your career, or you're dealing with something in your health, or you're planning an upcoming move, or you're welcoming somebody new to the family, human or non-human, and that's got your energy wobbling a little bit. Whether it's good stress or bad stress, it's still stress, systemic stress. That can impact your bond with your pet, that can impact your pet. So we're also going to talk about how you can manage your own energy so that the impact that you have on the animals that you love is as you wish it would be, is the highest and best energetic support that you can offer to your pets. So let's dive in, and then stay tuned for part 2, where we're going to go a whole lot deeper into the energetics of you. But for today, where I want to start us off is an understanding that you and I, we human animals, we are energetic beings. This stuff, this 3D physical body, this flesh, this blood, this bone that we have feels oh so real that it's easy to forget that underneath it all, what we truly are made up of is electrochemical magnetic energy. So we're an electromagnetic being filled with tiny cells that operate as power centers. They're constantly emitting and receiving energy. And we're a walking power plant. We are constantly broadcasting on all channels, whether we realize it or not. The largest and the most powerful electrical organ in our body is our brain. The largest and most powerful magnetic organ in our body is our heart. So we are quite literally electromagnetic beings. We are electrochemical magnetic beings because that energy exchange, the back and forth of energy, is accomplished through transmission of little chemical messengers called neurotransmitters. Hormonal messengers, chemical messengers that are modulating our frequency all day, every day, that are cycling us through our circadian rhythms, cycling us through our ebbs and our flows, cycling us through time changes and time differences, cycling us through stages and phases of our life. So whether we want to or realize it or not, we need to step into an awareness and understanding. You and I are always broadcasting. We are affecting those around us, whether we intend to or whether we want to or not. Now, this is not a call to beat up on yourself and say, well, I shouldn't be going through this, or I shouldn't be feeling that way. We can't help feeling the way that we feel and experiencing the things that we experience. This is what we're here to do. We're here to learn and to grow, and we are here to have experiences. But what we can do is take our personal power back and ask ourselves, how do I want to move through this experience I'm having in my life right now? How do I want to view what life is handing me? How am I going to respond to what life has dished up today? We cannot control what life gives us. We absolutely can control how we handle it. And so it's really about taking energetic responsibility for ourselves, starting with awareness. If you are aware that you are constantly broadcasting, that your state affects everyone around you, and that your state affects you, you're aware of your preferences. I like feeling this way. I don't like feeling that way. I like handling things this way. I don't like handling things that way. You can start to make choices. And choices is where you recapture your personal power. So beginning with an understanding that you are essentially, you're a satellite tower and you're syncing, your nervous system is syncing with all of the other satellite towers around you. And the closer your relationship is to another satellite tower, the stronger the signal is going to be as it relays back and forth between the two of you. Now, if you've attended my intuitive development for pet parents trainings, my free trainings, you'll probably remember that I talked about nervous system syncing, syncing. And so I'm not going to go into the whole deep dive here, but just a little recap, and you'll want to sign up for that training if you haven't taken it yet, or if you haven't taken it in a while, you might want to sign up for a refresher. But what I want to emphasize here is that when we emit or broadcast a message, and emotion and energetic transmission, that is received, that is picked up, and that is responded to. And we need to take personal responsibility for the kinds of messages that we are paying attention to. This is something I actually talk about inside Animal Communication Adventure to Mastery, my signature student learning program. We have a little gizmo, a very nifty little trained Autobot in our brain, in the limbic center of our brain, called the reticular activating system. And the job of the reticular activating system is to take input and sift through it to discern which tidbits need to be brought to our attention. So if you think of it like your Google browser, maybe you go one day and you type in something because you're curious, or you're looking for a new product or a new service, and you're just curious, you're not even really shopping for anything yet. But when you leave that browser window and you go to your social media or your email, suddenly advertisements for that very thing that you were just thinking about looking at are popping up everywhere. That's a perfect example for how our reticular activating system works in our brain. When we give more of our attention to something, we get more of what we're paying attention to. So if you're finding that there are things in your world that are not supportive to you, maintaining your most desired energetic state, let's say you enjoy feeling calm, you enjoy feeling positive and optimistic, you enjoy feeling empowered, you enjoy feeling connected, and there are regular influences in your daily life that prevent or inhibit your full ability to feel the things that you prefer, then this is where we have to start monitoring our environment. We have to start monitoring for what is working well for me and what is not working well for me, or not working as well as it could or as I would like it to. That can include relationships. Here's an example. Let's say you and your pet are going through a health challenge.
Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Are you animal communication curious? Have I got something special for you? My brand new Animal Communication Adventure to Mastery program has just launched, and you are going to love it. Animal Communication Adventure to Mastery is designed to be a gentle yet thorough, serious yet lighthearted path to interspecies fluency. Learn animal communication from a successful, working, professional animal communicator with a global client base. That's me, by the way. The program pairs beautifully with my ongoing live Animal Communication Adventure Practice Circle for developing student practitioners. Gain the knowledge and skills you need to succeed inside Animal Communication Adventure to Mastery, and apply what you are learning when you join us for Practice Circle. If this sounds like just what you've been searching for, head over to animallovelanguages.com and click on programs to join us. Together. And I've had quite a bit of this lately in my one-to-one pet parent sessions, where I've been talking with a pet parent who seems to be at odds with their care provider, with their veterinary professional, where that pet parent is wanting to explore other options beyond traditional Western veterinary medicine. Nothing against traditional Western veterinary medicine. I have had veterinarians on the podcast. I am the first to rush my animals to the vet when there is a need, and that is the appropriate choice. We also can make a case for holistic and complementary treatments. And I've also had those practitioners here on the podcast. And so let's say you're in a situation where you and your vet aren't seeing eye to eye about all the possibilities to support your pet through a health challenge. Another example might be, let's say you are friends with somebody who has a very different perspective on how to take good care of a pet. We have a family friend who, regardless of how much research and data and information we have sent them, they refuse to take their dog off processed kibble. So that is a very unproductive, very low vibration frequency conversation when it arises. So learning to either avoid those folks or just avoid those topics can be very beneficial to you giving yourself the best energetic foundation from which to parent your pet, to care for your pet, and to keep your transmissions positive. Now, life happens. Day-to-day stuff happens. Something changes on the internet. My blood pressure goes up. So just know that I'm not sharing this with you from the perspective of, I got this handled. We've all got stuff. We've all got first world problems. We've all got real world problems. But it's about becoming aware enough of where we have these subtle, chronic energy leaks of our desired set point, hanging around with people that just see the glass half empty or insist on talking about topics that are just extremely upsetting to us. That just puts us at a disadvantage. And while we don't need to worry about it so much when everything is going well with our pet, that's not what this podcast episode is talking about. That's not what we're addressing here. We're taking a look at how can you align your energy to support your pet through anything to find calm. And so when you and your pet are going through something together, sometimes that means you're going to need to make temporary adjustments to the company you keep, the kinds of content that you consume, the daily activities that you pursue, and even the kind of thoughts that you think, so that you can give yourself every advantage in staying calm and present for your pet when they need you most. Here's another example. When you go to the vet with your pet, what are you reading on your phone? What are you looking at? What are you consuming? Are you on your phone? Are you in a book? Are you there with your pet? Who do you sit next to in the waiting room? What is their energy like? What is your energetic output? What is your mindset when you walk into the clinic? Are you there to be a force for calm and peace and positivity? Not toxic positivity, but real positivity, recognizing that there is gratitude to be had here. I'm grateful that I am able to go to the vet. I'm grateful they were able to take us. I'm grateful that we have this nice, clean waiting room. I'm grateful that there are so many people in this world who love their animals and are willing to take them to the vet and spend money. What is our output? What channel are we broadcasting on? Your pet will feel that. Everyone around you will feel that. It will have a ripple effect. And most importantly, you will feel that. And when you feel that, you will start to feel your own power. Remember, we opened up this episode talking about the fact that you are a living, breathing, moving collection of tiny power plants. You are powerful, quite literally. And so often we walk around feeling powerless, especially when our pet is going through something, especially when that something has a timeline to it, especially when we can't see a clear end in sight for what that timeline might be or what that outcome might be. And we're at risk of getting stuck in fight, flight, freeze, sympathetic nervous system mode, and not being able to dig ourselves out of it because we don't know how. We're not even aware that we're in it in the first place. So when you start to change your output, you start to tap into gratitude for the little miracles that are right here, right now. When you start to tap into appreciation for the other souls around you and for the opportunity for support and assistance, you start to tap into your power and you start to align all of those little power plants inside your cells in a congruent direction. Not necessarily meaning that the outcome for your pet is going to be exactly what you are aiming for, what you're trying to manifest, what you're desiring, what you're hoping for, but it's going to make the entire journey that you and your pet are on together much calmer, much sweeter, much more connected. So starting with yourself, starting with kind of a self audit and an audit of your reticular activating system, asking yourself, I've got this little trained bot in my brain. I have told it what I am interested in seeing and hearing and knowing more about and less about. Do I need to update the software? Here's a really easy example. When I was looking for a new car, I decided I wanted a blue Toyota, and specifically a Toyota RAV4. Now, up until that point, I hadn't really been all that aware of Toyota RAV4s. I was driving a blue Toyota, but it was a different model. And I really hadn't been all that aware of how many Toyota RAV4s were on the road. But the moment I made up my mind that that's what I wanted, I couldn't stop seeing them. And I'm not just talking about online after I've browsed through the pricing. I'm talking about on the roads. I'm talking about in the parking lot. I'm talking about in my neighbors' driveways. So that's how powerful the reticular activating system in your brain is. So how have you programmed it? What are you consuming that is dragging you down, drawing on your power, and preventing you from showing up fully for your pet, not to work a miracle, but to be the miracle for them in each moment when they need you most. So that's the first thing that we have to tend to, is to recognize, out of everything that's going on with my pet right now, regardless of whether it's health, behavior, relational, even end of life, me, you, the pet parent, we have the biggest impact on our pet out of everything else because we are quite literally their world. We talked about our pet's inner wild in my 28 days of intuitive pet parenting challenge that happened last month. So if you were a part of that, you probably remember we did a whole week on your pet's inner wild. And what we have to recognize as pet parents is that when our pets join our family, they are having to adjust all of their wild DNA and the ways that they would quite naturally interact with one another, with their tribe, with their herd, with their pack, with their flock, or if they're solitary species, with themselves, to adjust for our presence and our world, our life, our rules. So our impact, your impact in your pet's life, cannot be overstated enough. Quite literally, their true north. You are the only trusted constant in their life to navigate this alien landscape that is your world. All of their DNA, all of their wiring for millennia is adjusting day by day, trying to work out how to be, what to do, what not to do, how to get through things. An animal that in a wild setting might walk away from the herd or the tribe and rest and hide while they're healing from something. Instead, they're being taken to vet visits and they're being loved on and fawned over, or we hope they are. If you're listening to this podcast, we can assume that they are. And that's at war with how they would behave and act in a similar situation in a wild setting. So to say that you are your pet's whole world and you are your pet's true north is a simplification of gross proportions. I cannot overstate this enough. That is why your energetic state matters so much. Now, where I want to head next is taking a look at your pet's experience and what they're going through and how their energy is impacting you. And again, we're taking a look at relationship here. We're taking a look at personal power. And in the world that I live in, the world of intuitive animal communication, we're also taking a look at what I call feedback loops. So you may be listening to this episode right now and you may be thinking, yes, I'm going to take my personal power back. I'm going to reprogram my reticular activating system. I am going to audit my daily consumption of news and friends' feedback and social media and television programs and whatever it is. But somehow, even though you make all of your best efforts to clean up your energy field, to moderate your intake, and to adjust your perceptions towards gratitude, towards being connected in the present moment, somehow you still find yourself back in anxiety or anger or frustration or sadness yet again. And most of us, especially if you're listening to a podcast about animal communication, you're probably pretty much a type A when it comes to pet parenting. You really want to do your best. And so folks like us, we tend to be hard on ourselves when we do everything and it doesn't go the way that we expected it to go, or we make such a big push to change how we're showing up for our pet, and yet we still feel anxious, we still feel depressed, we still feel withdrawn, we still feel sad, we still feel angry, we still feel scared. Well, this is something called a feedback loop. At least that's what I call it. Because of the syncing feature that we talked about earlier, where our nervous systems sync back and forth, we are constantly sharing our status, how we're doing, how we're feeling with one another. And again, with two satellite towers that are closely bonded, that have a very strong relationship, well, we're going to be sharing our inner state very powerfully with one another. And so what you as the pet parent need to remember when you're helping your pet through something they're struggling with, something that is a challenge or a learning opportunity for them, is they're probably not feeling great through it emotionally, mentally, physically, perhaps. And you're very close to one another and you're very attuned to one another. And you, my dear listener, you are an empath because you are so devoted to pet care that you're willing to carve out time out of your schedule to listen to a podcast called Let's Talk to Animals. So I can already make all kinds of wonderful inferences about your heart just based on the fact that you're here and you're listening and you're still listening. And so when you're continually syncing or attuned to the energetic state of your love, of your partner, empathic friend, and teacher in life, you are constantly receiving their broadcasts. This is why I was so emphatic earlier about when your pet is going through something, when they need you, all hands on deck, this is when it's time to perhaps pull back from some of the less positive relationships, influences, conversations, just sheer input in your life. Because normally when everything is well, when your pet is healthy, happy, feeling great, feeling strong, feeling balanced, feeling brave, that syncing feature, that back and forth, that trading of energy, that sending and receiving of energetic electromagnetic messages is pretty positive. They are a real source of filling up your cup, and then you can be a real source of filling up their cup. So it's this mutual high vibration, strong, positive connection. Well, what happens when one of you is going through something? You don't have anything extra to give your partner in those times. You can't fill their cup. In fact, you may be draining their cup. Now, this is typically on a temporary basis, but it can get very extreme. Last week, I was guiding a pet parent through an end-of-life transition for his senior cat. And as the months dragged on with the end-of-life process, he became more and more depleted. Now, luckily, this beautiful soul has a whole community of loving friends and supporters in his life. So he didn't have to do a lot of trimming. He didn't have to do a lot of reprogramming of his reticular activating system bought. But not all of us are so fortunate to be in those situations. Maybe you've recently moved to a new area. Maybe everyone you know has moved away. Maybe you don't have a community. Maybe you are looking for an online community. Maybe you just don't have the people that are close to you in your family who can fill you up in times like these. Maybe they don't get your love of animals and your devotion to your pet. Not everybody does. And so this is the moment to be very, very gentle with yourself. I've been going through something with my soul bird, Petal Pearl, and she's been to the vet more in the last couple of weeks than I don't even know what to say, to be honest. And it has been very challenging for us both. And the electromagnetic messages that we're trading back and forth, they are filled with anxiety. They're filled with fear. They're filled with uncertainty. And I've had to really pull back, not watching the news, being very careful about opening up my email inbox. I even closed my schedules for a week because I was too overwhelmed by what was going on to be able to show up for other pet parents and their animals fully. So this is real. And when you feel like you have done everything, I've meditated every day, I moved my body, I'm drinking lots of water, I'm having the most positive conversations, I'm doing the manifesting visualization to surround my pet with love and light, I'm doing all the things, and yet somehow I still keep getting reinfected with anxiety, reinfected with sadness, reinfected with frustration. That's probably not fully yours. It's coming back to you from your pet because they are also feeling that way. This isn't the most pleasant part of being a pet parent, of being a member of an interspecies family. We don't become a pet parent for times like these. We become a pet parent for the other times I was talking about, where we're filling one another's cup and we're joyful and we're grateful and we can't stand to be separated. We love one another that much and we're having a fabulous time together. But these other times come. In fact, I often say that being a pet parent is the bravest thing that any human animal can do, because barring a few exceptionally long-lived species like my turtle and tortoise, we know going in that they're going to go first. We know going in, we are signing up for the love part and the grief part. In advance, we know it, and we still say yes. So the reason I'm emphasizing that in this podcast episode today is to highlight for you that you are exceptionally brave and that you need to be gentle with yourself, because you are in the hot seat to be your pet's partner through this, the one and probably the only one that they can share fully with, that they can say anything to, that they can be completely transparent with about how they're doing and feeling. Now, this does not factor out that wild DNA of our animals just having a tendency to try to hide physical sensations, which is why animal communication, even medical intuition, which I also have training in, is not a substitute or a replacement for qualified veterinary care. We can't unwire this ancient genetic programming that says, hide your weakness, it's a danger to you. But they can't hide from you on an electromagnetic level. They can't hide from you on an energetic level. Nobody can. Our nervous systems cannot do that. They sync whether we want them to or are even aware that they are or not. So you will be feeling periods of irritation, of anxiety, of stress, of sadness, of fear, of frustration. And when these times happen, especially when you feel like, man, I woke up, I felt positive, I felt really good today, and then all of a sudden I'm an anxious wreck. I want you to ask yourself this question: whose anxiety is it? Whose fear is it? Whose frustration is it? Whose sadness is it? You may find yourself answering, well, it's both. It's mine watching my pet go through this. It's my pet's going through this and watching me try to cope and show up for them when I'm so worried too. So this is a time for extreme gentleness. It is a time for extreme self-kindness. I have a little note on my whiteboard that says, your only job is to be kind to yourself. And guess when I wrote that to myself? I wrote that little love note to myself when all of this medical crisis started with my pedal pearl. And I was getting so annoyed at myself and so angry with myself. And then I was trying to dissociate by working harder and staying busy instead of just being present for Petal Pearl, with Petal Pearl in each moment in time, to be a comfort for her, to be a point of connection and reassurance for her. So I wrote that down to remind myself how I treat myself impacts how well I'm able to be there for Petal Pearl. So asking yourself this question, am I fulfilling my job description today? If you would like to adopt this, am I being kind to myself? And even take a little Post-it note, or if you have a whiteboard like I do, and write down, my only job is to be kind to myself. If I am not being kind to myself through all the ups and downs, through all of the unknowns, the oopses, the uncertainties, the recognition that no matter what my highest and best intentions may be, I am not going to navigate this perfectly. So I actually have to forgive myself in advance. Part of self-kindness is recognizing you have to forgive yourself in advance for not knowing how to do it. Whatever it is, I don't care how many times you've been through trauma with another animal in the past. You've never been through it with this animal in this particular way, in this particular date and time. So you do not know. You must feel. And that is where many of my pet parent clients over the years have come to me and have enrolled in Animal Communication Adventure to Mastery and have started learning intuitive animal communication for themselves. Because we do not and cannot know at any level except the claircognizant level, which is one of the intuitive pathways that develops when you begin studying animal communication. We cannot know at a head level, at an intellectual, analytical, logical, data-driven level, exactly what the perfect combination, what the perfect approach, what the perfect strategy is for this unique animal under our care. So self-kindness is a recipe for kindness to our pet. And if you're having trouble, if you're stuck in self-unkindness, if you're stuck in that sympathetic nervous system response of no matter what I do, it's never enough, and I didn't get it right, and I didn't get it right yet again, and I don't know what to do, and I don't know who to ask, and all of that, stop and say to yourself, you're not supposed to know. What you need to do is feel in this moment in time, and each better feeling will lead you to the next right step. Again, this is something that we talk about in my intuitive development for pet parents training and in the animal communication program. So if this is the pathway that is calling to you, then understand that there is something for you here, that you can learn a better feeling, better working way to help your pet through these times by awakening to who you truly are and how powerful you really are and what you are really capable of, what an impact you can truly make. And if you're struggling with self-unkindness and you can't break the cycle, I highly recommend working with the Ho'oponopono prayer, the Hawaiian forgiveness prayer. So I will link up the book I recommend that you read in the show notes, and you can learn the prayer. It's a 4-step prayer and it's extremely powerful. I have used it for years with myself. It's really designed to be used with self, to heal self, and through ripple effect to heal the world. So that has been an invaluable resource for me as well. I also highly recommend Reiki, energy attunements, energy wellness, chakra balancing sessions. I highly recommend emotional freedom technique, tapping. I use that every week in my sessions with your pets, and I transmit Reiki every week in pet sessions and people sessions. Often I find that when one of you is going through something, the other one is also going through it, no matter what we try to do to prevent it. And so having these tools available for both of you is an invaluable resource to give you the energetic nervous system support that you need to get through it and to learn and grow through it. We are very motivated by personal growth. We're very motivated by learning about ourselves, by feeling empowered. Our nervous system loves feeling empowered, and that's what these tools are designed to help you with. To end today's episode, part 1 of our energy alignment 2-part series, I want to give you 3 tools that you can start using right now. I've just shared with you some bigger picture tools that can be really beneficial going forward in your journey with your pets, with all the animals that you love in your life now and in the future. But if you're listening to this episode right now, my expectation is that you're either in the midst of something that you're trying to support your pet through right in this moment in time, or you're anticipating something yet to come. Often what we see with this is sometimes there's a health issue that's brewing, or we can tell that our pet is entering into their end of life process, or you're planning a big shift in your own life and you're really concerned about how it's going to impact your pet, like a change in relationship. I've worked with people where they're moving in with their partners. I've worked with people who are splitting up with their partners. I've worked with people who are taking a job transfer and moving across the country and sometimes out of the country. So life happens to all of us. And we pet parents, we worry about what can I do right here, right now to support my pet. So here are the 3 tools that I want to give you today that you can start using literally as you listen to me talk that can help your pet starting right now. The first one is called parasympathetic breathing. This is my favorite nervous system reset tool. I'm going to guide you through it right now. We start by taking a deep exhalation, and I want you to purse your lips and blow the air out of your lungs like you're blowing air out of a straw. I want you to blow until you feel your tummy, your diaphragm contract. Now, take a deep, full belly in-breath. I want you to breathe as if you're breathing up from beneath the soles of your feet all the way through your body, filling your lungs from the bottom to the top. Most of us only use 40% of our lung capacity, which means at any given time, there's about 60% gunk and stuff and toxins in there. So keep breathing in, pause for a moment at the top, and do a deep, full exhale. Again, breathing out like you're breathing out through a straw. Again, feeling your whole body move. Now we're going to do that 2 more times. Breathe in deeply. You can even suck in air like you're sucking in through a straw. Just feeling and visualizing or sensing your whole body filling up with oxygen. Oxygenated cells are intuitive cells. So fill. Pause for a moment at the top. And then again, that deep, full body exhale. 1 more time. Deep inhale up from beneath the soles of your feet. Breathing in, making sound effects for yourself. Imagining the air is so full, it's popping up against the top of your head. Pausing, and then a deep, extended exhalation, really extending your exhale beyond the length of your inhale. Now, this pops your body into parasympathetic nervous system state. And you probably notice, even though we only did this 3 times, you're already feeling a little calmer. You're feeling a little more balanced, a little more present and self-aware. You've come back into your body. So often in crisis states, we empaths, we attempt to dissociate, we leave the building. You've got to call your energy back into your body so that you feel grounded. Your nervous system doesn't understand dissociation. It's like, come back. We're not done yet. So you really want to be in your body if your aim is to feel calm and at peace. So that's the first tool. You can do that in any moment when you feel stress, when you feel grief, when you feel frustration, when you feel confusion about what to do. Do that before you do anything else. Number 2, ask yourself this question: how do I want this to feel? And this follow-up question: how do I want this to go? In other words, what is your intention? What is the highest and best intention? And I encourage you not to focus on, I want my pet to fully heal by next week on Tuesday at 4 p.m. when we come back for our follow-up checkup. I want to go home today and my pets get along beautifully and I don't need to call the trainer and I don't need to do any behavioral work and I no longer need to use the leashes or separate them. Try not to go down that route of saying, I want this specific outcome. You may very well want that, but understand that that's a future focused intention. And our focus for our intention is right here, right now. Who do I want to be? How do I want to feel? How do I want this moment to go? If you were showing up as your highest and best version of you, how would you be feeling right now? What words would you be using when you talk about your pet with the vet or the trainer or your partner or your friends? What would you be focusing your reticular activating system on? Problems or solutions? Frustrations or gratitude? So for instance, for Petal Pearl, my intention is to show up for her in each moment in time, fully present, fully focused, fully attentive to what is unfolding and what I'm being told and what I'm learning to feel for the next right feeling step. So who I'm being is her empowered, empathic, embodied pet parent, her advocate, her biggest supporter. That's how I want this to go. I can't control if when we go back in 2 weeks, her weight has stabilized and her poops look better and she's not fluffy all the time. I can't control that. We're a work in progress on that end. We're doing daily adjustments and we're walking through the process. But I can control who I am being in each moment of this process. So how do I want this to go? It's not a future focused question. It's a now focused question. When I get off this podcast and I go and I connect with her and I get her out of her casa, how do I want to be with her? Am I going to be focused on, oh, she still looks fluffy, oh, this, that, or am I going to be focused on, oh, honey, you had a great nap and I'm so excited to reconnect with you in between filming podcast episodes. So it's really about, if I worry all the time, then the worry is all we get in our relationship. So there's a time for focused concern and asking the question, is there anything I can do about this right now? Okay, yes, let me go do it. Okay, no, well then how do I want to be with this being in my life whom I so love in this moment in time? So setting your intention is about, how do I want to show up for my pet? How do I want this to go based on who am I wanting to be in each moment as we walk through this situation or this experience or this learning journey together? And number 3, this is something that very rarely gets talked about, and it's something that is extremely powerful. It's for emergencies only. Unless you're an attuned Reiki master or energy worker and you work with an energy source and you know how to transmit it and how to work with it to support your pet, then just know that what I'm about to share with you, it can be a little depleting for you personally as a lay person using it. But in a pinch, in a crisis, it can be a real blessing. Let's just put it that way. Did you know that you can actually give your energy to your pet? You can actually share your energy with your pet. Now, scientists at the quantum mechanics level have proved that 2 protons, once connected, once in any kind of energetic association, what we might loosely call a relationship at the protonic level, once they have any kind of awareness of each other, they continually trade energy back and forth over the duration of their existence. What one does affects the other and vice versa. And there are many more versions of this, but I just think this is particularly neat that they've done it down to this microscopic level, that they've proven that this is a thing, that this really happens. And what this teaches us is that you can loan your pet some of your energy, and you don't have to know Reiki. You don't have to know energy. You don't have to do any kind of formal discipline in order to be able to do this in a crisis. Now, again, if you do this continually, day in and day out, it will deplete you. So I don't recommend that. So I share this with extreme caution, but in a short-term emergency situation, you can share your life force energy with your pet. And you don't have to do anything special other than set the intention. I like to just stretch my hand out near them or over them and just set the intention. I am gifting you some of my life force energy. And then I visualize or I sense or feel. You don't have to be a visual person to do this. This isn't about seeing things. This is about sensing and feeling. If you are visual, great, but you don't have to be for this to work. Just visualize or sense or feel the highest vibration, golden white light just streaming through your heart, down your arm, out your hand, and surrounding your pet in a protective bubble of love and light. You can do this for them when there's a crisis. You can set the intention, I gift you with some of my life force energy to sustain and support you through this crisis or through this emergency situation. And this is another great way as well for you to come back into your body, because again, you've got to be in your body in order to share your energy. So come back home to your body. I always recommend starting with the 3 parasympathetic breaths, the deep inhale and the extended exhalation, to do that 3 times and set the intention, and then offer them some of your highest vibration life force energy. Now, a little 4th bonus recommendation. I'm going to give you actually 2 bonus recommendations. Number 1, drink plenty of water. Hydrated cells are happy cells. You're going to feel a lot safer, a lot more grounded when your cells aren't struggling to breathe and struggling to get enough water to carry out their normal electromagnetic functions. And move your body. Move your body. If you're waiting for your pet, don't just sit on your phone. Get up and walk around the waiting room. Go and walk around the building. Go outside for a moment. Take a breath of fresh air. Get up every hour at least and move around a little bit. Have a drink of water. Do the parasympathetic breathing. Anchor back to your intention. And if need be, offer a little bit of your high vibration life force energy to your pet. And these are the building blocks that you need to support your pet through anything to find calm and feel connected and supported through it. So I hope you've enjoyed part 1 of our 2-part energetic alignment series. I look forward to hearing from you. Let me know what landed with you, what made the most sense, where you have questions, where you want to learn more. Please take time to leave us a review. It really helps. It encourages me, lets me know that what we're talking about here is meeting your interests and your needs and your pet's needs, and that we are doing good here together, helping pets, one pet and one pet parent at a time, helping build deeper, closer, stronger, more trusted and trustworthy interspecies connections. So thank you so much again for being a part of Let's Talk to Animals podcasts, and look for a fresh new episode every 2 weeks from me. So if you haven't subscribed yet, please do, so you never miss an episode. Okay, all my love. Bye for now. I have so enjoyed sharing this episode with you. If you're new to the Let's Talk to Animals community and you've enjoyed this episode, please do leave us a review on your favorite streaming service or drop a comment wherever you like to listen. I love to hear from you, and your feedback truly helps me shape future episodes based on your interests and needs. If you're not already in my weekly Love Letters community, head over to animallovelanguages.com to opt in. Your welcome email will include $25 off your first pet session with me, and you'll be the first to know when a new podcast episode drops. If you're interested in learning more about the work I do communicating with animals, offering pet Reiki, and teaching animal communication, please visit me at animallovelanguages.com. Click on Schedule for Pet Sessions and Programs for all the information about my new Animal Communication Adventure to Mastery student program and the live animal communication practice circle I run for student practitioners. And I look forward to welcoming you back here very soon for a fresh new episode of Let's Talk to Animals. Okay, all my love. Bye for now.